Hey, it's the Riot podcast.
Did
Hello.
everybody have a good weekend?
I feel like our Monday shows are always longer podcasts than some of the other days of the week.
Because we talk longer?
Well, we've just saved up from the weekend.
If there's a day we're going to have content, it's going to be that.
Yeah, so in the show today, we get into weekend movies, including The Nutcracker on Netflix.
You know, the weekend.
Hey.
You watch stuff. It's fine.
We talk E3. We talk about GoFundMe, Disney World on opening day, tater
in
tots.
In the 70s.
Animal Crossing, Impossible Whoppers, coffin sleeping, dodgeball.
Gosh, a lot of good stuff.
There's a lot there.
I really like the coffin sleeping one. I think it's enough to make you think about ways to redo your sleep space.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
How you might get a better night's sleep.
Are there ways that you could, for only a few $1,000s, increase the quality of your sleep?
If you do it the first time like that, then give it a month or so, then you've got more content by coming up with budget ways to do what you've done for a larger price.
So, I did it. It costs a lot, but what we've been working on is ways you can do this on a better budget. I think it's a great idea.
So we got a lot of good content coming up, guys. Trust us.
Absolutely. So, hey, you guys have a great
day.
Whatever.
We did talk about also our upcoming RIOT live event.
I don't think there's any of that.
Well, we've got a live event coming on Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern to 6 p.m. Pacific, and that'll be on our Facebook pages for you to watch live while we host a special show for game night. That will be at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific, at RadioU or RadioU Riot, either one of those Facebook pages. We're playing Overcooked 2. We'll hang out with you. We got some food fight stuff. That's Thursday.
All right. Well,
enjoy the day.
Bye.
The Riot. They're kind of a big deal.
Hey, can we do that again? Maybe a little more energy?
No. RadioU.
By a show of hands, how many people went to see X-Men it's just Dark Phoenix. We wouldn't.
They don't want the other in that.
We don't want to call it X-Men Dark Phoenix because then it sounds like the 14th movie in a sagging franchise.
That's not it.
It's just Dark Phoenix.
So wait, anybody in this room? No one? Okay.
No. It not a lot of people did, Nikki. It came in at number 2 at $33 million.
Well, it still seems like something, though. That could have been worse.
That's respectable.
Remember back in the day, I feel like now we're expecting movies to bring in way more than we would have expected.
So, Secret Life of Pets 2 was at the top. Aladdin was in third place. And then, my good friend Godzilla taking a real dive.
Not a lot of that. Was that the second weekend then or third weekend?
Second. Wasn't it the second?
Don't remember.
Let's say it was. I'm pretty sure it was. It made $15 million over the weekend. Yep, that's week 2.
That's still something. That could have been, again, way worse. Let's be positive about this.
It's bringing its total up to $78 million. But, man, Aladdin, in its third week, it's up to $232 million.
I feel like that's doing better.
Better than I thought it would.
Better than, yes, we would have given it.
Yeah, so, man, I'm still pulling for Godzilla, okay? This guy needs, come on. He needs some love, is what I'm saying. So what I would like to know is, let's see, box office international. Let's see, because as is always the case when a movie is tanking, I saw probably a solid 3 or 4 articles yesterday that were like, international will save Dark Phoenix.
I was
like, oh, come on. And that's just because they don't speak English, it will seem good.
Sure.
And that really is what it comes down to. That's why, as I say, it's my subtitling theory. I watch a lot of Japanese stuff that I think might actually be really bad, but the language barrier keeps me from understanding how bad it actually is. Mm-hmm. And I'm able to be like, look, it's subtitled. That's what smart people watch.
Well, I think Jake texted, said Salt this weekend was worse, bad. So was that the Phoenix one that you're talking about, Jake, or are we talking about something else?
I think that's probably what he's talking about, because that's the thing that everyone said. Oh, it's worse than Apocalypse. Yeah, because the last one was X-Men Apocalypse. Not a good movie.
Yeah.
And I didn't see it in theaters. I bought it for $5. That was my rental, whatever. And so took it home, sat down and watched it, and you were just like, what? What happened? How come this not good? and it wasn't. And if it's worse than Apocalypse, that's bad.
Well, Jake says it is, so we're going to go by Jake.
Well, hey, Jake, you know what? I appreciate the heads up.
So that was your box office from the weekend.
Jake, you don't happen to be the Jake that ran a comic book shop down the street from my mom, like when I was a kid, right? It's probably not the same guy.
I don't think it is.
You don't think it is?
Well, if it is, he's still around.
Jake's Comics. That's where I went.
Oh, really?
Every week.
Oh,
Yep.
That's cute.
Any money that I got, I gave it to Jake.
You always went there?
Yeah, he was my dealer for comics.
And you got the ice cream cone a lot.
It happened.
And comics.
You never know.
That was your childhood.
The definition of insanity is putting the riot on again and again and expecting a better result. It's the worst of the riot on Radio U.
So, Nikki, Texas, they say everything's bigger in Texas, including their tobacco problem.
It's a lovely state.
So they are one of 14 total states, now 14, states that have raised the minimum tobacco sales age to 21.
So let me make sure I understand it correctly. So you can't buy it unless you're 21, but you probably can smoke it.
Yes.
Okay.
That's exactly right. That's the way it is.
Because that gets a lot of people where you're like, you can smoke it younger, but you can't buy it.
That's exactly right. And I think that really just comes down to how in the heck are you going to police that? Like, the cops all day long just be like, I'm arresting you for smoking. I'm arresting you for smoking. At some point, it just becomes excessive, right? But yes, the sales age. In fact, in Texas, if you sell cigarettes to someone under the age of 21, it's a Class C misdemeanor with a fine of $500.
Okay.
So you definitely want to check the ID on that one, right? So I always go to the gas station and see signs that are like, if you look under 65, we're going to card you for tobacco.
I've never seen someone card for cigarettes, but I've seen, like, for alcohol, they'll card anyone and everyone, but never for someone buying smokes.
Yeah. That's why I try to just keep like just a rough 3-day growth, and then they
look older.
Then when I stop in for my smokes and booze, they're just like, it's fine.
Actually, more for coffee and donuts.
You look like a bum. You're fine.
Someone must be over 21 if you've got that hard look to yourself.
Yeah. So I said 14 states. Actually, Texas will be the 15th state. So I had my numbers wrong. Illinois just signed that into law in May. New York State passed the legislation on April 1st. It has not yet been signed by the governor.
Yes.
Man, I'm killing it.
Can I tell you though? That's the cutest way I've ever heard governors. It's so cute.
Arkansas, California, Delaware, Hawaii, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, New Jersey, Oregon, Utah, Vermont, Virginia, and Washington are now all in the 21 club, Nikki. So, here's where I'm at on smoking. If you smoke and you can't quit, I feel sorry for you. I wish you the best, whatever. If you haven't started smoking and you're like, I'm about to start, you are really stupid. There, I said it. That is the dumbest thing ever. You're just like, I'm going to start this life-threatening habit. I don't currently have it. I don't have any trouble stopping because I haven't even started yet. But today's my day.
It's a very expensive one.
I said I was going to start something new today, and I'm doing it. I'm going to start smoking today.
So
that is so stupid.
So that's a no.
Oh, it's a
Nikki,
big no? We're going to call that a hard pass.
Okay, hard pass. That's fine.
Hard pass.
Now that we know, you guys have no questions about it. So if you're going up to go buy something, in your mind, Obie's voice of a hard pass is going to come in.
You should, because I can remember, I don't understand what it is about junior high that it's a hotbed of trying smoking, but I can remember my friend who really, really thought he was something, just being like, yeah, man, you want to smoke? And it was like, why? Well, it's good. No, it's not.
Well, especially when they're so young. And now we hear from so many who are like, you're 21, 22, 23, and you'd give anything to stop at this point.
I wish I could just stop,
Yeah, so you don't want to get to that.
So, I'm just telling you. There you go. There's my dumb stance. You always know you're getting the real me when, rather than explaining myself, I just tell you it's stupid.
That is the most mature way to argue something.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Not only are you already awake, but you're listening to The Riot? Your day is off to a pretty rough start. The Riot on Radio U.
Do you remember the Nutcracker and the Four Realms coming out last year?
Yes, I do. I've seen it now.
When did it come out?
It's on Netflix.
What? Nope. That's not what I'm talking about.
Well, I thought you meant, when did it come out for the chance that you don't have to pay more for it?
Yeah.
Because it's not truly for free.
Okay,
but.
here we go. November 2nd last year. I remembered that they made it, but I really didn't remember it coming out.
Was it a Disney movie? But I don't recall it being a huge success. I don't know what they were expecting from it.
It says right here, $175. What? 70.
I think you missed a few numbers with it. You're right. That's shocking. That is shocking.
$175. Approximately 12
with ticket
people
prices?
went to see it.
No, that's not even that. You mean more than that?
It made approximately $175
million. There it is. U.S. or worldwide?
This just says box office, so I don't know if it was worldwide or not. I can tell you this. I liked it.
Yeah.
I ended up watching it last night. I was with some friends, and I had what I wanted to watch, but was overruled by the Nutcracker crowd.
I was going to say, it doesn't feel like you were the one that was choosing.
Yeah, but you know what? And I was surprised. I kind of did want to see it because it looked sort of fantastical, and it was is that the story of the Nutcracker? Because I don't know what.
Did you not know that was? Yeah.
I don't know what the actual story of the Nutcracker is.
I think it was pretty close to it.
More in the realms, is that?
I think so.
Is it?
I think. I mean, they're trying to fill more time, but. And you have to remember, because it's on Netflix.
I'm going to have to Google this.
Because you didn't go pay to go see it in the theater.
I didn't. No.
It comes across better.
It lowers the standards.
It does.
It really does.
It absolutely does contribute to that.
You know what? I was probably watching it trying to find the good things instead of picking at it. But I actually thought if there was anything about it that was great, it was the production design. It was fantastic. Like, just had such a unique an interesting look to it. And I also thought the lead actress was very good. She was selling it. But they have these creepy bouncing things in the fourth realm that I was like, I don't ever want to see these again.
That was just not for you.
Nope. They live in this robot person and they bounce up and down. And I was like, okay.
You know, I feel like on Fridays we should have like what's the box office going into the weekend. And then I feel like on Monday we should always go a recap of, well, what did you watch streaming service wise? Because that tends to be where we watch most of the stuff at. Well, like, what did you really watch?
What did you actually watch?
Watch this 7th or 8 month old movie.
Well,
about Christmas time.
I was trying to get everybody to watch I Am Mother, which was the new thing on Netflix over the weekend. Everybody's like, a robot? No, we're not watching the robot movie. And I was like, I don't even know why I come over here.
But the Nutcracker movie?
Yeah, let's watch the Nutcracker. That's great. You know, it involves kind of robots.
Kind of, sort of.
So whatever. So I didn't see that. I didn't see the movie that premiered over the weekend. We decided to wait. Catch that hot November joint.
Well, technically it premiered on Netflix, so it's still newer for them.
Sure, whenever that happened.
They even make morning people want to reach for the snooze button. It's the worst of the riot on Radio U.
Hey, in the middle of all this Xbox stuff, I thought, Nikki, I found a really cheap way for you and I to get Overcooked 2, but I was wrong. Yesterday, Microsoft announced they've got this whole Game Pass thing for Xbox, right? So you pay $10 a month and you get access to 100 games. Well, they announced the Ultimate Pass yesterday, which takes Xbox Live Gold and this Xbox Game Pass. And for $15 a month, you get it all.
You get everything?
Man.
Well, the ultimate amount.
Man, Nikki, you're getting all of it. Everything. Forget about gold. Let's talk about Ultimate.
For only $15.
Wow, what a savings.
Oh, my goodness.
But they're also doing that on the PC. So if you play games on the PC, they have just unveiled their Xbox Game Pass PC. But you can... They're doing like $1 a month trial, and then they say it's still in beta, and you can do it for $5 a month.
So is that how you wanted to try to play it on Thursday?
I was like, when I saw the list, I was like, here it comes, man. We getting Overcooked 2 for $1.
It's not on the list.
It's not on the list.
Well, it's still probably too newer.
But I mean, like, there's some other stuff on here, like Forza Horizon 4, which I own. It's great. And like, look here, like Ori and the Blind Forest, which I own, and Vampire, which I own, and Valkyria Chronicles, which I own.
I think that might be the problem for you, but maybe for others, they don't own all the games.
Super Hot's in there. I mean, I own that too, but it's still cool, right? Mm-hmm. I did want to play State of Decay too. That's on the list. So,
For $1? Does it get you a year for $1 or what?
Oh,
$1 per month, but like...
I'm sorry. I can't sell it to you at that price.
Well, it's a trial price. It's not real.
No, the $1 gets you a month.
Oh, okay, for the first
month. And then
after
that, like, the first few months seem to be like they're only going to be $5. So, hey, everybody, coffee's ready.
Oh, it's a time. We must go. We must dash.
Well, I don't have to dash. I got it right here. You just push down.
Push down on your French press. I tell you, we should over there in the corner. We should move the whole coffee stuff all in here.
We could have a coffee and smoothie bar.
You could.
Yeah,
I mean, we don't have to make it like live on air, but at least it's over there and it's near you.
I feel like everybody wants to hear every day when the Xbox games things are out and the coffee's done. So
it's just the perfect stuff, isn't it?
I'm just giving the people what they want.
Right.
This is what people want.
I forgot that they asked for all that. I didn't recall.
Look, make plans. Thursday night, 9 o'clock, the Riot doing their thing.
Maybe we'll make coffee, then we'll have evening coffee then.
Oh my gosh.
Can you handle it or will you stay up all night?
The only morning show brave enough to say that Chicken McNuggets are part of a balanced breakfast. The Riot on Radio U.
I hope you didn't make any mistakes this weekend. And I hope there weren't any cameras around. Oh, wait. That place doesn't exist on Earth. Because everywhere we go, we're carrying cameras. And we take pictures and video. And people are like, I got this mistake and I'm uploading it right now. I'm not going to get into what story it is, but I was reading a story this morning about somebody who made a mistake, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. And by mistake, I mean chose wrong behavior on purpose and enacted it. But it's fascinating to me how long our memory is as a society, especially now, because everything gets caught. And the other thing that amazes me is, you find out somebody did something 10 years ago, and you may have loved and respected them, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, whoa, wait a minute. I just want to let you know, one, I got things I did 10, 15 years ago. I don't know, maybe over the weekend. You would be like, I've lost all respect for him. I can no longer listen to what he has to say. And that's fine. Like, you do what you got to do. And I get it, too. Like, sometimes somebody does something and you're like, ooh, the road back is long on that one. But if you notice the other thing, that society is very quick to forgive people that it just seems to randomly decide it's okay that they did it. But a bunch of other people, they're like, oh, not them. No. Until they can come out with a hit movie again, we can't forgive them for what they've done.
That does not always make sense.
But as soon as they got a hit movie or a hit TV show or a hit single, we're going to be okay with it. It's fine. That's just who they are. It's no big deal. Here's what I love. I don't care whether you've got a hit book, a hit single, an amazing blog post, whatever it is. I want you to know that forgiveness is for everybody who wants it, period. Jesus literally says that we can all come to him, ask for forgiveness, and he wants to restore us in a relationship with God, in our relationship with others, et cetera, et cetera. Like, God wants to set our feet on the right path, in a good place. He wants to take us from where we are and put us somewhere better. And I'll tell you, like, it can be a journey. You can be forgiven right away, but, sometimes it does take time to change. Sometimes it does take time to quit something or start something or whatever. But do you know that God's going to be with you the entire time? And he forgives you. A lot of people will be like, I'm going to leave you around, but at important moments, I'm going to bring this back up just so I can lord it over you. God's not like that. If you don't have a relationship with him, I feel like you're missing out. You should ask him, Jesus, I want that. I want you to come into my life. I need you to forgive me. I've done some stuff that I really wish I hadn't. Forgive me. Show me a better way to do things. I want us to be friends. Man, it's a great place to start. God's going to be walking with you all day, no matter what you did this weekend or 10 weeks ago or 10 years ago or whatever.
Obadiah and Nikki tried their hardest, and that's what really matters. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
Hey, watch everybody not panic when I say this. You ready? This weekend is Father's Day.
Is it?
See, nobody cares.
It's not the same as when you don't want to forget your mom with Mother's Day.
It's like, yeah, exactly. With your mom and Mother's Day, it's just like, we're freaking out. We got to do it. We got to make something happen.
If not, you're going to disappoint your mom.
And for your dad, you could just show. Your dad doesn't even know it's Father's Day this weekend. He's just like, what? Yeah, whatever. Okay. Sure. What do you got? How about a tie? It's fine. So I just want to give everybody a heads up that it's Father's Day.
I forgot.
And like, here's something really sad. Do you remember how on Friday I was like, I think I don't really care about 4K Blu-rays anymore. It doesn't matter. I found a dad sale on yesterday that they were selling 4K Blu-rays. Totally bought one.
Did you?
Oh, yeah.
But you seem like you were over that.
It wasn't for my dad. It was for me. But, whatever.
It's fine.
It's fine.
A little for someone, then you buy a little for you. A little for someone else, a little for you.
Well, it comes down to, Nikki, I don't know if you paid attention, but Disney charges a lot for their stuff. And they had the Avengers for $15, and I just couldn't pass
up on that.
I couldn't. No. I had a little pocket money, and
was it the newer one?
I don't now.
Or the last year's one?
The original
one.
Yeah. So I was like, I did it, and I'm a little ashamed. And I got to figure something out for my dad.
When in doubt, just pass that on to him.
Yeah.
Don't open it and just send it on.
That works. I figured I'll probably just take him to the movies.
Sure.
That seems good. Hey, Dad, let's go to the movies. Okay.
Great.
Happy Father's Day.
If you're listening, Obi's dad, that's what he'd like to do.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Or you could just come over to my place and watch a movie. There you go. I'll have a pizza there.
So you're saying you're going to see a movie some way, somehow.
Hey, man, I'll just tell you right now. That's a heck of a Father's Day gift right there. That's time. It's entertainment. It's food. What else do you want?
So that's this weekend. Just a reminder.
I don't know if I have enough money for anything really cool.
That's good, though. Time is worth a lot.
Sure.
Things are never as bad as they seem, except when it comes to the riot. Then they're worse. They're always worse. It's the Riot on RadioU.
I don't know about you guys, but a lot of times I like to just curl up and grab a blanket and maybe get myself some tea and just enjoy some good Reader's Digest.
Ooh.
That
is that a magazine? What is that?
The Digest.
The Digest? What does it cover?
It is a magazine, but it's also a website.
Okay.
I don't know. I just remember my grandparents used to get it. Never read it, but there it is. Reader's Digest. So they have an article here on Reader's Digest talking about Disney World. Nikki, do you know when Disney World opened? Not Disneyland.
No, I do not.
Disney World.
I can look it up.
1971.
Okay.
That was one of those do you know, but I already know. I got it here for you. 1971. So they are approaching, but not quite, at the 50-year mark at that location in Florida.
I'm sure that'll be a big celebration with bigger prices coming soon.
Okay. So let's see. Disney World, their current ticket price, $109.
Yeah.
So here's my question to you, Nikki. Do you know how much it cost to get into Disney World when it opened?
Okay, and you said 1970?
1971.
1971.
There was a big wave of inflation between 70 and 71.
I wonder how popular it was in the beginning. So I've never asked someone who would have been around then or read anything. Like, was it this huge thing to go to in the 70s? So was it expensive in the 70s, or was it building in its popularity?
Well, Disney had, as a brand, had some real serious slumps in the 70s and 80s. But Disney World, I think, was a
travel destination back then?
Was still thought of highly, yeah. But it is not the brand that it is now then.
I guess I don't know what's expensive in the 70s, but would it have been like $25 to get in?
That's a good one.
Is it?
That's
more
good.
or less?
That was way less than that.
It was?
$3.
No, it was not.
And 50 cents.
No, to get into Disney World back then?
$3.50.
Wow.
Now, taking in inflation, that would be approximately $21 today.
Okay. It's crazy.
Imagine being able to go to Disney World for $21.
That's what it should be.
That's amazing.
Even though I don't know if it was that inexpensive, would they be able to handle crowds and stuff?
Well, I don't think that it would be what it is. As the ticket prices have gone up, so has the complexity of the attractions and a lot of stuff like that. On top of which, it's one of those weird things where when something becomes expensive, all of a sudden it manages to feel like a prestige item. So, think about how you sit around this. It kills me to think about it. You save money to go there. You're saving money to just give it to them.
Fine. It doesn't have to be 20, but it also doesn't have to be the price that it is currently. Well, we could find a happy medium.
It's really important they get all that money.
Right. Because they're getting that. They're getting the merchandise. They're getting the hotels, all the travel stuff. everything.
So you pay $109 to get in, and then I think it was $200 to build your own lightsaber, and then
If you want to do that.
holy crap!
I hate to tell you this, but I've never gone on a day where it's been $109. It's always more than that.
Oh,
So
really?
I don't know if that's a certain day that, those peak days.
Nikki, let me pull you in over here. I've got a business where I just, connect people up with their Disney World. And really a 5-day package is where the price break really starts to kick in.
I think actually that's true. They try to save you money, but then you're having to give them even more for all their package stuff.
I'm going to help you save money by spending more.
I feel like this is a trap.
That's the best way to do this.
So in 1971, it would have been $3 to get into Disney.
$3.50, which would be approximately $21 today.
They feel like that was a lot back then. Were people mad, or have they always been mad about how expensive it is to get into Disney parks?
I don't know. I mean, I guess it just, again, depends on like what other things, but it seems to me like $21, at least to me, is enough for it to be like, well, it's not free. It's not like, I don't feel like $21 is completely throwaway money, but at the same time, if you're like, hey, we're going to go to this amusement park for a day and it's $20, I'd be like, yeah, whatever.
But I don't know how it was back then with that money. I'm not sure.
I mean, do they have corn dogs there?
How much was the corn dogs?
I don't know. Like, it seems probably fairly reasonably priced based on this current article.
And what does this mean that Disney will get to in the future? What will it cost them?
Probably your soul and a kidney.
The Riot has now been downloaded. I hope you installed some antivirus. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
Nikki, would you be willing to donate to a friend's GoFundMe for their wedding?
For their wedding?
Uh-huh.
I thought that's what a gift for the wedding was.
That was their GoFundMe?
Well, yeah, like you would sometimes buy a present, like if they register, or you would give cash to the couple getting married. Mm-hmm. And isn't that what goes towards like paying for the wedding or for their future if they choose to save it? Oh. So now you have to do something else? You got to do two things?
Well, here's the thing. Like, let me read to you some of this GoFundMe. I met the man of my dreams 2 years ago, blah, blah, blah. We had so they're already, oh my gosh, this is even worse. I actually skipped over this sentence when I read it.
And this is an important one?
We had a courthouse-style union before we closed on our house. So they're married.
Yeah.
But they've planned a ceremony for October 19th.
Some people do that.
I'm not saying it's wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not wrong. But the fact that you're already married and now you want what she later refers to as a fairy tale wedding, then I'm asking everybody to pay for it even though I'm already married. Like, honey, sorry.
Some people do the courthouse thing, so then you don't have to do the church wedding part, but you just have like a party.
Yeah.
But in this case, they're still wanting to do the big wedding.
Let's see. Her father is working side jobs and overtime to pay for her wedding.
Oh, guys, that's just for a day. Like, your wedding's just a day.
What about your freaking, like, do you have side jobs? Are you working overtime?
Well, how can you when you're planning for a wedding?
She needs hair, makeup, a reception dress, bridesmaids dresses, decorations, and a wedding cake.
Yeah.
And she'd like to go on a honeymoon if she could raise enough money.
You're not supposed to use GoFundMe for that.
Please consider investing your donation in a couple that will never give up on each other to a fairy tale.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for making our dreams come true.
Listen, I have had friends who have been married for, we're talking only months, just months, and they put in so much money.
I've seen that.
For their wedding. The more like I think you try, the less likely it is that maybe you stick around as a couple, and that's a shame.
I couldn't.
And you're spending all that money, and you might not even stay married.
If we were good friends, I could probably float you a 20.
Well, that's what the wedding gift is for. Would you still buy them a wedding gift?
I don't know. How good of friends are we?
No one's. I mean, at this point, no one's that good of friends.
I can't. It's just one of those things where it's like here's a $20 savings bond. You're already married and you bought a house. Come on.
If you don't have that much money for it, there's lots of ways to save money, not just for a wedding, but if you're going to go do any sort of party thing. But you don't really want to spend the money you don't have or make your poor dad do all those extra jobs so that you can do that.
Yeah, it's rough. It's one of those things where you're like, I hope you get what you want, but
Just not sure.
I just can't.
We're not there with the actual details, too. For some, you could do that, and it's fine if you're grateful and if you're asking for it in the right way. This comes off the wrong way.
Well, okay, I guess what it comes down to is this feels like, hey, I deserve this special day, and you guys want to pay for it.
And you just closed on a house, too. You got a lot of stuff going on.
You guys are not working 3 jobs, living in an apartment, whatever. You've bought a house. Like, at that point, I'm just like, look, what else?
What else is there?
What else is there? What? You want me to buy you a fancy dress? Sorry. I'm not, like, it's not worth it. Like, you're already happily married and you have a house. You skipped to the end, and congratulations, by the way.
Might have been better to skip all that. Then you'd have even more money.
So, but you're saying that you too, like you'd be like,
I don't feel
you give her $50, and you're like, this is it.
That's already from the wedding.
This is the gift.
No, I don't feel like GoFundMe was really in the beginning set up for that sort of thing, and now you get a lot of people that abuse it to make money for other reasons.
Well, Nikki, I mean, at least she's being upfront. She's not like
being honest about it.
We've got a real cancer thing happening here, blah blah blah, and then you find out they spent it on the wedding and the honeymoon.
True.
Hey,
people try that too.
That's a thing. I see a story about that almost every single day.
Giving every novelty food the publicity it so blatantly desires. It's The Riot on Radio U.
Hey, just a heads up, if you guys want to go ahead and follow, you can follow Nikki and I both on Twitter. You can find links at riot.radiou.com. But I especially would like you to take a look at my Twitter today because I just launched a GoFundMe for my Apple monitor stand.
Did you?
Yeah. Now, it's $999.
For this stand.
And I do currently have a monitor with a stand, but I just feel like I deserve a fairy tale stand.
Yeah, but what if the $1,000 monitor, like the stand, then you need to buy
the monitor itself.
Yeah, the monitor was $5,000 and the computer is $6,000.
Okay, well,
I remember. Like, are you going to buy all that too, or while you're funding?
Nikki, I'll just tell you that if you look at the GoFundMe, in reality, the stand is the stretch goal. We're starting
with everything else,
starting back a little bit, and then we're going to work our way up.
We're all raising money for something.
Yeah, I'm really excited about where it's going. So if you guys want to get in, like, I just want you to know that I still have opportunities. You can find those links right there. Okay, so I'm looking at this article here from, let's see. Now, this is from Australia, mind you. Now, in Australia right now, what is it? It's winter. Mm-hmm. So whereas you and I are not yet gearing up to get the flu vaccine, we're all skipping the measles vaccine, apparently. But we're, the flu thing, we're not there yet. But in Australia, they're gearing up for the flu. And so here's the part that gets me. They come out, and this is like from some group of doctors in Australia. They've had 162 people in their flu season that have died from the flu already.
Already?
Already.
That seems like a lot.
It does seem like a lot, right?
But then I don't know what numbers we get here.
It's 4 times higher than last year, which is wild. Okay, now that being said, the doctors are out there like, look, the flu vaccine is no good after 3 months. So what are you supposed to do?
No, wait, no good as in if you don't inject it in somebody, or no good in your body?
Like, once you get the flu vaccine, it lasts about 3 months.
But that's the time of the season, isn't it?
Well, but like, what if it lasts longer? Are you supposed to go get another one?
No, I think the problem is they never know what'll be the one for that season, and so they can only project. So you get a flu vaccine shot, and you're just hoping that it covers the flus that people get that time.
Yep.
There could be a different strand of stuff, and it doesn't do anything, and you'll still get something.
It's a dice roll.
It is.
For real. Like, there are usually 3 or 4 strands of the flu running around, and they will choose. I think they can only give you 1, maybe 2. I actually can't remember if it's 1 or 2. And they're literally playing statistics and hoping that they pick the right
covers
one.
It.
So it's not perfect, but just the idea. On the one hand, I'm not an anti-vaxxer. On the other, I feel like they always want to give me a shot, right? They're always just like, hey, what do you...
Well, they hope it'll help. If they give you enough, they're hoping it's better.
Well, I went to the doctor last week, and I was like, just give me everything you got. What do you got in the back? Just what? Like,
you do that. You are like that.
You got anything for international travel?
They're like, sir, are you internationally traveling?
Sure.
No, but what else?
Like, was it all in the copay? Then let's get some needles out and get started.
Just give me something.
Come on, what do you got back there? Anything good? I'm in.
Or I'm like, no, thank you. I don't want it.
You know what, Nikki? I believe in wellness.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the irony being that I'm just like, give me any shot you want, but Nikki's over there drinking charcoal. So, I mean, like...
Hey, charcoal is great for your body, all right? You should try some of that.
So is the flu vaccine.
I haven't had the flu in a while. I don't ever say that out loud because I don't want to get it. I know. It's like, I do not want that. And you know what's the worst is when you get something like that and it's not our flu season and people are like, where'd you get this from?
You're like, shut up already.
Have? Why do you have this?
Dude, what was that? It's been like 6 or 7 years ago, but yeah, I had the summer sickness it may be the worst sickness I've ever had. It lasted almost a week. I came back to work like, I'm better. And then I was like, I have to leave right now. I have to leave right now.
Dude, couldn't even do the show. You're like, I'm going home now.
I'm leaving.
You overestimated what your return would be like.
Good Lord, I was so sick. Oh my gosh.
About that.
I pretty much didn't eat for a week.
Oh, that was bad. And then again, you're like, everybody's going, why do you have this? It's the summertime. I thought the heat was supposed to kill everything off.
I don't know where it's from.
Aww.
It was bad enough the first time around, but now it's worse. Don't believe us? Just keep listening. You'll find out soon enough. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
I want to say hello to Paul.
Paul texted us something good.
I want to quote Nikki before I tell you what Paul said. Nikki off air said, I'm changing people's lives.
You might not know it.
I'm changing people's lives for the better.
But I don't want you to, not just me, but for Obi as well, don't just throw away the words that we say each morning.
You need to hide them in your heart.
Because you never know when it might blossom into something in your life.
So here's what Paul says. He says, Nikki, I took your advice and put my tots, and those would be tater tots, on my burger last night after grilling. Here's a picture. Yes, I use condiments and veggies, but it rocked.
Dude, you have no idea how amazing it is to put fries, tater tots, hash browns, or like potato chips. So basically any potato item, put it on your sandwich or your hamburger and eat it that way, and it's amazing.
Real talk, it's good.
It is.
Like, it's not just something where we say it's good, and you're like, yeah, it's okay.
No, you should always do that.
It's good.
And it doesn't mean you can't have tater tots on the side. That's the beauty about this. You put it on the hamburger, and then you put it to the side, too.
It is definitely not an either-or proposition.
Well, Paul, I'm excited for you.
It's just not.
And I want us to all know this going into what I feel like is the biggest grilling season. You know, you're getting ready for 4th of July. I want you to all remember our words when we get closer to that.
Mm-hmm. Get yourself ready.
Put it on there.
Is what we're saying.
You know, you can even do like baked beans. Some people do coleslaw. We shouldn't just leave the traditional toppings and expect that'll be enough.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, for me, like cheese and ketchup is enough. But if you got some fries, throw them on there.
Throw them on there.
Throw them on there. Why not?
You know what? I've also been getting into more, remember like the chili sauce on top of a hot dog?
Yeah.
But I put it on a brat yesterday with cheese, and that was good too.
Okay. That sounds pretty good.
So just run with it, everybody.
Yeah.
Run with it fast.
Now, are you still not, like, did you have a bun with that?
No, I didn't. I just made a little bowl full of it, and it was good.
Bowl full of jelly?
Well, chili.
Okay, bowl full of chili.
But jelly sounds good, too.
People I hung out with this weekend, they were all like, nobody ate bread. Everybody's like wrapping stuff.
Well, no, if you're in with people, you can't. Like, you got to show, like at home, you might be.
They were all like, they were wrapping it in lettuce or just throwing it on the plate.
When you're
and
with
there
your
I
friends.
am, just like, are you don't want
I'll
a bun?
take your bun.
I'll just eat this plain bun. It made me feel super good about myself, honestly.
It's fine. You're already beach ready, so it's fine.
And other people are like, no, I couldn't possibly eat the bun, and you're halfway through your bun, and you're just like, me either.
Mine's a cauliflower bun. You don't realize it's not real. It's not bread.
I couldn't eat this bread either. It's sick, bro.
That's terrible.
What? Right? What's wrong with people?
Yeah, and that's your public and private life. You can eat a bun when you're at home, but you shouldn't be eating it when you're out in public.
Good
Not
Lord.
with friends.
Scandalous.
Is it healthy eating so many snacks, chips, and Oreos every single morning? No, of course not. But they do it for you.
Too many guys got the stomach for this line of work.
That's real love. It's the Riot on Radio U.
Nick, you remember Animal Crossing?
Yeah, I didn't get too much into it, but it came, let's see, that was for the DS. And then didn't they have the version for mobile gaming? And I played that a little bit, but then that was it.
A lot of people I hear did not like the mobile one very much.
Wow, pretty much. Nintendo mobile gaming is nice to have. And yes, the upcoming Mario game will be out, another one. But it's not exactly like playing it on your Switch, and I think people prefer it, or your DS.
Well, Animal Crossing was first released in 2002.
I didn't know it was that old.
Me either. The original Animal Crossing came out in 2002 on the GameCube. And there is a guy, Jeff, who has been maintaining his Animal Crossing town for the last 17 years.
He still plays it from that? That's fascinating. How does it still work? Or
I guess he still has a game. I mean, I guess with the GameCube and the
it's just on the game?
memory card, you just pop it back in. And that was always the cool thing about Animal Crossing is just because you're not playing Animal Crossing, the clock in Animal Crossing is always going. So, right now it's June 10th, 2019 in his Animal Crossing game. So it's not like it's been waiting for him to come back. It's still there.
It's still current time.
Tom whatever is still trying to get his money. And et cetera, et cetera.
Olivia just texted, still play mine. Now, do you play the old original version or do you play newer Animal Crossing? But recently got back on my game too and started playing it again.
Yeah, Olivia, you'll have to tell us if you're still at it. I have Animal Crossing for the 3DS, one of those.
Wasn't it just you would just go travel around, do little things? It's like every other game.
Yeah,
but
it is.
In
it's
your
one
animal
of those,
town?
You've got an animal town and you're building houses and all that kind of stuff. And you don't build houses. You buy them. You buy furniture. You go to the trees and then sell your apples, and you can go fishing.
That
stuff like that. Where if you're willing.
When you talk about it out loud, any game would fall to this.
It doesn't sound as good, but when you're doing it, you're like, man, this is just relaxing. I'm just trying to get Tom Nook his bells. You know what I'm saying?
That's just how it is. I remember playing, because Animal Crossing for the iOS was Pocket Camp. And I remember playing it, and I was just trying to get into it. And then I just noticed, I was like, this is all the things of someone wanted me to go out and do something. And I was like, no, I was just playing this. I thought, well, I probably should go out into the real world and put some time in there too.
By real world, you mean take your animal out into the world?
I just remember
or do you mean?
I remember I was fishing in the show because you would go to the beach, and I thought, it'd be great if I
actually went to the beach.
Yeah, I just went out to the real one, and so I never picked it back up again.
We don't have any beach.
Well, no, you can have the beach, you can have lake beach. That's something bad.
Lake beach,
beach is bad.
Best. Oh, yeah.
You can have pool beach where you just, pretend. You can have pretend pool where it's your bathtub. You can have all that fun stuff.
I took a bath yesterday.
Did you?
Yeah, I slept in it.
Did you? Aren't you supposed to not do that?
You know what? Okay.
What if you drown?
Just as a side note, if you're big enough and you just go ahead and decide what big means for you, okay? What does big enough mean?
You can't drown in the tub. The water's not coming up high enough.
It's not going to get me. I can barely get wet, let alone I'm going to drown in there.
No, that's awful. You're not supposed to go in there and sleep in a bath, though.
I'm rolling around just trying to get water.
Down? What if you slide down into the water?
No. Too big.
Too tall, you mean?
Sure. Yeah. If that's what you think it means.
I'll just say it that way.
Too big for that. It's fine.
And you also aren't supposed to still go in if you just ate. You're breaking all these rules.
My cramps. My leg is cramping.
I just want to be safe.
Olivia says digging up fossils is where the big money is, and she's still playing the original 2002 game.
All right.
I don't have my GameCube anymore.
Well, Olivia, can we introduce you to this other guy who's still playing his original 2002 game as well?
You're perfect for each other.
You guys can be great friends.
Mm-hmm. Man, we should get, I need to get out. Well, you play GameCube games on the Wii. I did that for a while.
You want to find the old one and play it?
That sounds a lot more fun than working, but when I get home, I'm totally not doing that. Nah.
Gonna take another bath?
Oh, yeah. Take another nap in the bath. It's fine.
It's bad when you're napping too much and in the bathtub too much.
Kind of pruny.
The Riot really wanted to do this live, but now they can play video games and eat rice cakes instead. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
So E3 is happening this week. That's the Electronics Entertainment Expo.
A lot of stuff was announced yesterday, so it went on over this past weekend.
A lot of things, which is not to say there won't be any announcements left for the week, but I feel like we've seen most of the big ones. Now, Sony didn't have a press conference. They're not at E3 this year, but last night I saw that they announced that the Final Fantasy VII Remake will be out on PlayStation in March of next year, which that's kind of a big deal. A lot of people were like, that's basically never coming out. So to hear a release date is like, wait, really? Like, you guys are going to do that? The other game that I felt like we'd probably never see, or at least it would be another year or two, that is coming out next year. Of course, all these dates can be pushed back.
This doesn't mean that it happens.
It's very common for them to announce a game, give it a date, and then that date gets bumped. But supposedly Cyberpunk 2077 will be out in April.
Well, hey, that's coming out because they brought Keanu out. Keanu Reeves is in it.
Keanu Reeves going to be in it?
They're not lying with that. They're ready to release it.
Well, they might be lying about the when.
But I feel like that's more confident. If they're bringing him out and showing all that, then it must be soon.
They announced that Halo Infinite, which is the next Halo game, is going to be out next year when they launch the new Xbox. So think probably like next November.
So that'll be a new game or like a...
Well, I'm sure it will tie into previous games, but it's their latest, greatest Halo.
Not like a remastered or something?
Nope. It's the new stuff. We also saw a new trailer for Gears 5, Jedi Fallen Order.
What about the other one that we watched the trailer for earlier?
Doom Eternal, where they were like...
It sounded very ominous, the trailer did.
It looked crazy, man. It just looked nuts.
Where you're in hell and in heaven?
And heaven, apparently.
You just get both?
I'm really interested in, there's a Wolfenstein, one that's out this summer called Youngblood, where you play the daughters of the main character from the other games. That looks interesting to me. The other thing they announced that coming out this week, a new Forza Horizon 4 expansion.
Ooh, time for you to break that back out again. Get your wheel on out.
I never put it away.
Oh, you do? You still have your wheel out?
Well, I don't have the wheel out, but I play Forza all the time. I bet there's not a week that goes by that I don't at least do a racing series.
Do you know how dead you'd be if that was a mobile game?
It'd be a problem. So Forza Horizon 4 is going to have Lego Speed Champions as an expansion this week, and that it
sounds
does.
Right about perfect for you.
I think it looks cool, man. So there's still a lot of things. I mean, they announced the new Xbox, which they have been announcing it, but they're saying, hey, it's going to be out in time for the Christmas season next year. They showed more Dying Light
Christmas 2020.
2020. Yeah. Well, didn't I say next year?
I know, but I always feel like for some reason, you're still on thinking oh yeah, Christmas this year. No, it's not. No. It's the year after.
Not that. That's not going to be a thing. Okay, and then the last thing I'm going to throw in, I don't think that we'll probably play it because it'll probably be too hard, but Microsoft announced a new Microsoft Flight Simulator that they say is being fed in all kinds of satellite data and whatever. I don't imagine that I'll play it because I'm probably just not good enough, but it sure does look cool. It really does look cool. Very realistic looking stuff. So, yeah, you know what? If I find some more cool stuff over the next few days, I'm sure
from E3
that we will be talking about it.
You're listening to a morning show hosted by two people who absolutely despise getting up in the morning.
Will you give me a break one time?
The Riot, RadioU.
Well, here we are, Nikki. Headed over to a Burger King to get our Impossible Whopper.
Is this about the trickery?
Oh, my gosh, dude.
I wonder how true this is. I don't think you can, because what if someone has an allergy and you're not disclosing what they're getting? I don't see how you could do this as a company.
Okay, look, it's a Burger King in Brooklyn, apparently. They have been advertising, hey, we've got the Impossible Whopper, we've got the Impossible Whopper. And then it turns out that
They would be switching some people's orders for like a beef Whopper
Just give them a regular Whopper.
The Impossible one, not telling them that they were actually getting the Impossible meat, not real meat, and seeing what the thoughts are.
This started with a guy who says that he went there. He went ahead and bought himself an Impossible Whopper. I guess he had done it at least a couple of times. And then a week or two later, he went back in. He's like, yeah, I want an Impossible Whopper. And they were like, what? We don't have that. And he's like, yeah, I bought it here last week. And they're like, no, we never sold that. Like, what?
I thought they were switching regular beef with Impossible burgers.
Well, they are.
Yeah.
But what they're, you thought that like to a meat eater, they were giving, no. This is feeding vegans cow.
Meat, you're not supposed to be doing that either.
I guess it's not funny, but it's hilarious.
No, you can't do that. So are employees in trouble, or what did they say?
Well,
are they not owning up to it?
They don't know.
Did they ever do it?
Like, that's one of those things where, like, how are you gonna find the guy that sold the Impossible Whopper? Who the heck knows?
So it's just someone going up and asking, but not noticing, hey, it's not on the sign, and then apparently the people are just playing a trick on them?
Okay, here's what I think it probably happened. It could have been a trick, but it could also be this. You go to Burger King. Whoever's working the register at Burger King, they're giving you maybe 5% of their attention.
They don't care.
Maybe. Like, they don't care about your food, and they don't care about you.
They don't care about your choices you've made about food, your dietary restrictions. They don't care about any of that. Your special requests, you're lucky any of that gets done.
Yeah, so I mean...
And that's any fast food drive-through place.
Yeah, but especially Burger King. Like, especially Burger King. So you get up there, and he's just like, yeah, I want an Impossible Whopper. And he's like, yeah, Whoppers, they're impossibly good. Here's your Whopper.
So the person maybe doesn't even understand what the impossible part of it was. I see.
Honestly, I think you could easily make that mistake. The idea, again, and I'm sorry to say this, but, if you're out there looking for the latest, greatest food thing, the people at the bottom of the chain, the people you'll actually encounter, the guy running the register or the person stocking the shelves, they have no idea there's a new Oreo flavor. They have no idea that some Burger King on the other side of the U.S. is selling a vegan Whopper. They don't know, and they don't care. And that doesn't even make them a bad person. It just means that, corporate probably didn't have a huge meeting with all the people via a video chat where everyone came in and got free food and were informed about the important Impossible Whopper. They're not doing that.
Sure.
So this guy probably went in. He's like, I want an Impossible Whopper. And he's like,
the person just heard Whopper.
How about some fries with that? All right, there you go.
So what is he going to do then? Or there's nothing he can do?
I don't know. He doesn't say what he's going to do.
Well, it's hard because like with the Beyond Meat and the Impossible Burger, their whole thing is like, it tastes just like meat. Well, if you accidentally just get meat, you can never tell. So how are you supposed to figure it out?
I just love the idea of this guy being like, man,
that was the best.
This is the best vegan burger I've ever had. It was just like eating a regular Whopper.
Oh, I should have known.
Oh, yeah. So now, I'll tell you what this turns into. This guy's out there secretly sneaking real Whoppers. He's back in.
Oh, he used this as an excuse?
He's back in.
He'll never tell his vegetarian and vegan friends.
He thinks he's not back in, but he is. He's lost his vegan powers and everything.
Once you go back, it's like when you don't have bread for a while, and then that taste, that first bite, and you balloon back up.
You're screwed.
If you're looking for all the funny moments you missed during the riot, we apologize. You won't find them here. There weren't any. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
I know it sounds extreme, but I think I'm going to start sleeping in a coffin.
Now, let's maybe roll it back a little bit and give a little bit more details before you just share that information.
I think context is important.
Like, is this the new health hotness?
Well, I don't know. Okay, it goes like this.
Is it a holiday thing?
So,
like a storage? You don't have a space for it? Or?
Well, that's interesting. Okay. No, over the weekend, I went to a cabin with some friends, and there were lots of different rooms, and somehow I ended up in the room with the bunk bed.
They always have those in cabins.
And they're just like, oh, yeah, you'll be happy down there in the cabin, in the bunk bed. It's fine. So I got down there, and I got up on the top bunk, and it was so close to the ceiling that I was like, well, this isn't going to work, so I'll get on the bottom bunk. So I went down to the bottom bunk only to discover that there was maybe a 6-inch clearance above my head. It was just like, who
It's not a very big one.
Who's supposed to be sleeping in these beds?
I think it's supposed to be for kids.
Well, good for me.
And
right?
if you're the youngest in your trip of people traveling, they give you that.
Like, hey, man.
I guess I'll still sleep in the bunk.
So, of course, I balked at it and told them stories about how this... I got stories. People always shoving me somewhere. Like, he doesn't care. He's a jolly man.
He'll just
jolly
use this
fat guy. He doesn't have the courage to stand up for himself. Shove him down there.
without a fan. Just put him where it's hot.
I brought my own fan.
You brought your own. Well, so what leads you to, like, you were unhappy with that and you need to bring your own bed now?
That's a whole funny other idea. Like, I brought my own bed.
But it's a coffin? Like, is it travel?
No, but I got in there, and so I go in this room where, of course, there's no windows. And so I shut the door, and then I bang my head multiple times, crawling into this coffin-like structure that is this under the
spacious bunk bed.
And it may be the best sleep I've ever had in my whole life.
Oh, it's like one of those decompression chambers and stuff.
Oh my gosh!
The float tanks.
Turn my fan on. My fan was basically right on my face because there wasn't exactly a lot of room in there. And I climbed in there, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!"
This is why you need one of those weighted blankets. It's the same thing.
I slept so freaking hard, and every time I got a chance, I was like, "Hey, I'll be back."
You know why? Your body felt safe because it's all covered.
Dude.
You have to do that.
Dude.
I don't think coffin is the first thing. I think we can find you something else.
So you think there's an in-between?
Yeah, coffin just... what if there's an accident? They're like, well, he's in there, so just bury it.
Oh, yeah, we were supposed to bury that one.
They just happen to stumble in your house, and they're the coffin crew.
Yeah, could be.
Or
you wake up, somebody's trying to put a stake in your heart, and you're like, guys, this is just for decoration.
Yeah, I just really like it dark and quiet.
Yeah, nobody bothers you in here. Leave me alone.
No, you need to get a weighted blanket, I feel. That'll put that pressure on you and keep you down, but in a good way.
Docile.
Yeah, and then you'll sleep better.
I'm not even kidding. I slept so hard. And that was 2 nights and 3 naps. 3 naps! Oh my God. And when I was done, I was like, I don't know what it's going to take to recreate this experience, but I got to figure it out.
Suddenly you're like, why are you getting some sort of a bunk bed in your room? You're like, well, this is why.
This is what it takes.
And then your windows, you cover them completely over.
Brick. Just put brick on the windows.
Oh, I don't know if we're worried or if that's genius.
I don't know what to tell you. I just know that I may have had the best sleep of my whole life.
You can get one of those sleep chambers that have that same look.
Whatever it is, I got to figure it out because the only problem is now, like when I came home, I slept okay last night, but I feel like I've learned to sleep deeply.
You're missing it.
Now I'm never getting it. Oh.
And that deep sleep you can't recreate cheaply. So you're going to have to spend some money.
Oh, you know what, guys? My GoFundMe, help me buy a hyperbaric sleep chamber. It's my fairy tale sleep chamber.
See, Rach says, absolutely love my weighted blanket. Sleeps so good. You need to get a weighted blanket. Try to go on Pinterest and you can sew things or glue things on existing blankets to try to
The other thing I was thinking
make
is,
your own.
What about this? What if I just went to Fiverr and I paid somebody to sleep on top of me every night? Doesn't have to get weird. It's just
it did just get weird.
No, it
is weird.
It doesn't have to be.
No, and I think it needs to be more than Fiverr. It needs to be more than that. But not like Craigslist, because it is weird there.
Craigslist people are like, no, I'll do it for free.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well,
now it's uncomfortable.
Yeah. It's funny that I started us talking by saying I was going to sleep in a coffin, and we somehow managed to get worse before the end.
You found a way.
Yeah.
You're always good at that.
Yep.
Where do you go when you need someone to listen to your problems and give you a big hug? Not here. Obviously, this is The Riot on RadioU.
You're making a face like you don't like what you're reading.
We're skipping that. We're not doing that.
That's a pass. You know it's bad if we're passing on it.
Yeah, dude, these words are so fantastic. Are you ready for this? There's a team of Canadian professors that have been doing some kind of research, blah, 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 whatever. And they say that we have got to drop dodgeball from gym class. They say dodgeball is, and I quote, a dehumanizing tool of oppression.
The worst out of all the gym games?
Yeah, I mean, it's basically you selecting someone for elimination.
Yeah.
But that's a great, I just love the phrase dehumanizing tool of oppression. because I feel like I want to start using that for other things.
Not just gym class games.
Like, hey, I came in and spent some time on the Riot. It's a dehumanizing tool of oppression.
Seems like you could add that to all your tweets for like the next, all of your lifetime, and it'll work.
So I got more for you here. They say the message of dodgeball is, and I quote, the message is that it's okay to hurt or dehumanize the other. Researchers noted that more athletic and authoritative students in the class established rules and practices which saw them gang up on other students. Oh, really? So you're telling me that all the athletic kids have the advantage in the athletic class? Tell me something I don't know.
Don't you feel like all of the games we would play kind of fall under that category,
in gym class? Yeah.
So you can't just single out that one.
Listen, any kind of this I will say. I mean, they're right. I like, to a certain extent, there is something to it, but like, can we have fun? I don't know. They say, I've never even heard this, the 5 faces of oppression are reinforced in dodgeball: exploitation, marginalization, powerlessness, cultural imperialism, and violence. I mean, I don't know about cultural imperialism unless they're meaning an athletic cultural imperialism. Like, kind of see that. But hey, like this weekend, I played, what's that game where you throw the bean bags?
Cornhole.
I played cornhole this weekend. That was a tool of oppression. It was, because guess what? Captain Crooked Arms over here, and that's me.
Can't play it.
Man, I can't throw a little bean bag straight to save my life. To say, if there was a guy stepped up and put a gun to my head and they're like, all right, you got 6 tries.
You wouldn't make it.
And if you don't get this in over there, I just sitting on the thing, I'm going to shoot you.
Well,
I'd be like, you know what, man? Just pull the trigger because it's over.
I don't just say that because think back when you were really young and you played dodgeball, like early elementary.
I loved dodgeball.
You didn't have, I think it's the people's problem. Like you're
saying the adults are putting that on it where it's not there?
Well, no, I think we develop into that by high school.
Yeah.
If you're still playing dodgeball in high school, then I don't know where you're going, or like, I don't recall playing those games then. But if you're getting older and older, then we start acting out and making it more of a mean thing. But in the very, very young time, you can still play it and be fine.
I don't know. I remember in was it junior high? But that was like before gym class became serious. At least for us, it was.
Yeah.
We used to play this kind of dodgeball called free ball, where there was one person that was the thrower, and then as they would knock people out, they would turn into plants, and you had to sit down and you could throw the ball.
Yeah.
I loved that game.
So then at one point, we all change, and then we take it more personally, and we make it personal.
Yeah, I don't know. I liked dodgeball, and look, I was a large target that couldn't throw well or run fast.
Aw, so it was a hard game.
That's just some honesty for you guys. That's not very nice. No, that is a fair appraisal of what happened.
The worst of the riot is over, but the fun can keep going.
Hey, I saw you checking out my goods.
Check the Riot blog or stalk us on social media.
You want to sample them? A little try before you buy, huh?
Through riot.radiou.com.
I'll just eat this plain bun.